Pentagon's unprecedented designation of Anthropic, one of the leading US-based AI labs, as a supply chain risk, may be revealing much more about the Pentagon's information security than it is attempting to conceal. At the same time, this debacle gives an interesting glimpse of the extent of the power that an AI lab can accidentally acquire by simply knowing too much for its own good, a power that will become even harder to control as the AI technology progresses towards artificial general intelligence, or AGI, eventually culminating in artificial superintelligence, or ASI, when the AI's ability to generalize from prior knowledge will give it enough power to beat the entire human civilization, even working together on any cognitive task. But first, let's start with the Pentagon. To say that labeling Anthropic as supply chain risk is historically without precedent is an understatement. This designation is intended for the suppliers that are controlled by the adversary powers like Russia or China, because these powers have the means and the motivation to produce commercially unprofitable products at a scale that is not justified by the market demand, simply because these products allow them to spy on the American government and to disrupt and undermine the democracy and the well-being of the Western societies. No US company in history has ever had either income or inclination to be able to afford that. The purpose of the supply chain risk designation is to save the taxpayers' money. When one government agency, as part of its procurement process, does its due diligence on a potential supplier and discovers strings attached to an evil puppeteer across the ocean, the agency simply reports on its findings so that other agencies do not waste time and money making the same discovery all over again. Now, successfully completing an extremely detailed due diligence that the Pentagon must have done on an AI lab that would process highly classified strategic and tactical data for the US military around the world, allowing it to operate on that data for several months, including during high-stakes military escapades like the Venezuela coup d'etat, and then designating the service provider as supply chain risk, is not your daily run-of-the-mill turn of events. When you are doing so publicly, you are either admitting a massive due diligence fuck-up, or you are trying to conceal an unprecedented military intelligence leak on the scale much bigger than the one in March 2025, when the military plans of the strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen were leaked to Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, via a non-secure signal chat. Goldberg had not been under a non-disclosure agreement with the Pentagon, so when the Trump administration tried to threaten him, he could defend himself publicly by releasing some of the details of the conversations he was accidentally privy to several weeks after they had happened. The CEO of Anthropic, Dario Amodei, on the other hand, is not at liberty to discuss the kind of ghastly secrets the US government shared with his AI models. The two clauses of contention, mass surveillance and autonomous weapons, that were made public are most probably a subset or even a complete misdirection away from the things that would have set off the ethical guardrails of the Anthropic's models. The US government could get away with mass surveillance of its citizens for decades, so that's not really hot news. Building a Terminator is most definitely a joke. Even Pete Hegseth is not dumb enough to authorize a deployment of an autonomous weapon at today's levels of reliability of AI models. What made Hegseth blow his lid was most likely the level of coherence of the ethical argument that Anthropic could make by connecting the data points that were fed into its models by the Pentagon users. Sensing a signal scandal all over again, Hexeth quite likely threatened Amadei, who, in his instance, could not defend himself publicly because he was under non-disclosure, so Amadei went off the rails in the internal memo, which, in its turn, got leaked and made things even worse for Anthropic than they were, for which Amadei had to apologize a couple of days later. We may not know for sure what has happened and what got leaked, so this will have to remain a conspiracy theory, because all we can do is simply connect the dots. But the main moral of this story is that when you entrust an AI model with your secret, personal or organizational, you cannot assume that the model will not make far-reaching connections and derive implications beyond your wildest nightmares, because that is what the model is trained to do. As the AI develops its ability to generalize and make even less obvious connections, for better or for worse, the AI will go far beyond the original intent of the user. In the case of Anthropic, the model was able to identify the far-reaching ethical risk and stop, or at least slow down, the Pentagon in its path. But what if somebody else's model is designed to be evil? It may extend its master's original malicious intent to the next level of atrocity. May God be on our side when that happens.